Ever wondered how the Mafia communicates without saying a word? Beyond the flashy suits and tough talk, there's a secret language of gestures, subtle cues, and coded phrases that keeps the Underworld's operations silent and deadly. Uncover the unwritten rules and hidden meanings that govern their illicit empire. And if you think this is just about words, you're already missing half the conversation. Because in this world, silence can speak louder than a bullet. In the Mafia, Omerta isn't a suggestion. It's a death sentence. For anyone who breaks it. It's the code of silence. You never cooperate with authorities, never talk about the business, and never, ever volunteer information. But here's the psychological twist. Omerta isn't just about keeping secrets. It's about projecting loyalty. Even when you're innocent, you act like you know nothing. Because in this life, looking like you know too much is just as dangerous as actually knowing. Take Joe Valachi, for example, the first made man to publicly break Omerta in the 1960s. He testified before Congress about the inner workings of the mob. The result? The Mafia didn't just want him dead, they needed him dead to make an example. Every guy in the life understood, break Omerta, and you're not just marked, you're erased. But Omerta goes deeper than just keeping your mouth shut. Sometimes it's about what you do say, and how it's loaded with double meaning. Mafia talk is like a coded radio signal. The real meaning is there, but only if you're tuned to the right frequency. Mini examples. Going to the mattresses, preparing for war. Popularized by The Godfather, but in the streets, it meant soldiers sleeping in safe houses, waiting for orders. A friend of ours, a made man, fully initiated. A friend of mine, connected but not inducted. We'll see. Not indecision, but a polite forget about it. When John Gotti was under FBI surveillance, he'd use phrases like, "Go see our friend in Brooklyn," instead of naming anyone. To the feds, it sounded harmless. But to the Gambino crew, it was a green light for action. And that's just the verbal side. The real power, it's in the things they don't say. The unspoken signals that can change a man's fate. In the underworld, body language is an invisible script everyone knows by heart. A handshake isn't just a handshake, it's a transaction of respect, or a warning. A firm, long handshake can mean loyalty. A limp one can signal mistrust. And sometimes, a handshake is the last thing you feel before you're led into a trap. The nod. It's not just a greeting, it's a tactical signal. A quick upward nod might be friendly acknowledgement. A downward nod? That could mean follow me, but don't make it obvious. There's an old story about Lucky Luciano meeting Meyer Lansky at a nightclub in the 1930s. Without a single word, Luciano signaled to Lansky with just a subtle tap of his glass. Lansky excused himself, walked to the bar, and moments later, two rival gangsters left the club without even realizing they'd just been marked. But when silent signals aren't enough, the Mafia goes old school, deep into the shadows of secret societies. Every organization fears infiltration, but the Mafia treats it like a certainty. That's why they've always relied on ciphers, symbols, and coded notes. One common method, the book code, where numbers in a note refer to words on a specific page of a specific book. Without the right book, the message is meaningless. In the 1980s, Sicilian bosses used matchbooks to communicate. If the matchbook was handed over with all matches intact, it meant everything's fine. Missing 2 matches, that was a warning. We've got a problem. Even playing cards could be used as symbols, A black ace face up on a desk might mean a meeting was urgent. Face down, it was postponed or cancelled permanently. But just when you think this language is frozen in time, it changes, morphing into something new to survive in the modern world. The Mafia's language has never stayed the same for long. What worked in the 1950s won't work in 2025. Street slang evolved into phone codes in the 80s. Then came beeper codes in the 90s. Now, they've gone digital, using encrypted apps, burner phones, even video game chats as their modern sit-downs. In 2018, a European crime family used an online soccer game's chat feature to arrange meetings. To anyone watching, it was just friends talking about a match, but certain phrases, like "the ball is in play," meant the shipment had landed. Here's the thing, the moment the public catches on to a code, it's dead. Which is why the real players are always one step ahead, inventing new ways to say the same old things, without anyone realizing they've said them.